Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. Another week has rolled round in the bagpiping world, and we've got a lot to talk about on this week's show. I don't even know where to begin with this one. Last week's show, we done a lot of catch-up, okay? If you haven't listened to last week's pod, my recommendation is please go back, have a listen to last week's podcast first before you get into this one. Because a lot of this is kind of reactionary, I guess, following last week's catch-up. Yes, we'll get into that. But first of all, let's get into our introductions before we get into the show good and proper. Well, if this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, then you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And yeah, like every other podcast under the sun, we do have a Patreon. So if you would like to help support the show, well, you can. You can click on the link that's in your show notes right now, and you can get your mitts on loads of extras, including our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show, where last night we had something really quite special. We had a Big Rab Show exclusive last night. And, man, it was something else. We had quite a special piece of music that we played last night on Fuse, and the reaction, I've never seen anything like it. So, yeah, I know I'm being very cryptic, but that is up there now. If you do want to listen back to it, it's available for our Patreon, folks. We had quite an awesome show last night on Fuse. But yes, I've no doubt that we're going to be playing that track again. And I'm not aware of any other outlet that has this. But yeah, just incredible. Anyway, that's available to our Patreon faithful. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for clicking on that support button. It really does mean the world to us here in the Big Rab Show. And yeah, we hope that we repay the favor by giving you loads of juicy extras. There you go. Right, well, now that our plug and all of that is out the road, yeah, as we always do, we promote the Patreon. Time to move on to listener mail. And this week, let's be honest, our listener mail has been absolutely inundated with nominations for the Big Rab Show Awards. It's been kind of insane. Oh, yeah! The Big Rab Show Awards nomination process started last week, and to say that our email box has been to the point of bursting, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, bigrabshow@gmail.com was the address where everyone to send in their nominations for their Big Rab Show Awards, and we have literally received hundreds, if not thousands, at this point. It's kind of mad. We weren't expecting quite this reaction to the Big Rab Show Awards. Kind of nuts, but thank you, everyone who has sent in your nominations. We do appreciate it because I think this is the most important part of the process. Now, we explained this last week, and yeah, if you want your favorite to win an award, that could be a favorite venue, favorite band, product, whatever it is, if you want your favorite to win, you must nominate them. Now, it goes on a rule of numbers as well. Yes. If that person, band, venue, product, whatever, only receives one nomination, well, that's not enough. They need many nominations. So this is when it's thrown out to the piping public, you know, and if we get like 500 nominations for the World Championships in Glasgow as venue of the year kind of thing, right? Best venue. Then, of course, that's going to be into the final, okay? Whereas if we have a nomination for like one nomination for the corner shop down the end of the road, that's a great venue. No, one nomination's not going to cut it. So I do know a lot of people out there currently that are running campaigns. I've seen it. A lot of them out there are like running campaigns for like social media, the category, and also for band of the year, medley performance, live performance, all of our different categories. I've seen a lot of people running campaigns. even folks out there who want to win Beard of the Year. Yes, I kid you not, there are folks out there that are actively running campaigns, asking people to nominate them for the Big Rab Show Awards. So, hey, have at it, okay? I think this is this week's listener mail because that's all our email box has been filled with is just nominations, which is brilliant to see. Keep them coming, folks, because nominations will close on Saturday, the 11th of October. So you only have a few days left at this point. So if you haven't yet sent in your nominations, please do so. Encourage all of your bandmates, your aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever. Encourage them to email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Send in your nominations for the Big Rab Show Awards. And, your favourite might actually make it through to the final. And we could be talking, encouraging people to get their votes in for your particular favourite. That's exciting, isn't it? So, yes, get your nominations in, get them in quick. Because nominations all close on the 11th of October at 5 p.m. UK time. Any nomination received after that date will not be counted and will simply be deleted. There you are. So, there you are. And good luck to everyone who is running campaigns, by the way. I have seen you all, as I've said, on socials. It's been really cool. Some people have actually published videos and things like that, encouraging people to nominate them. And really cool. I've seen some active campaigns over on TikTok, Instagram. Even seen a few Snapchats and stuff as well. So it's been great across social media. So it's been great to see. So, good luck to all of our potential nominees. Yeah. All right. So as for other listener mail, we got a lot of commentary talking about the New Zealand Young Piper of the Year competition. And we're going to talk about that in the news and updates and everything. But what a contest that was. Yeah. I'm going to give my own personal thoughts on it, of course, as well as all the results and how it all went. All that stuff. We'll get into all of it in the news and updates, but thank you to everyone that did send in a lot of great compliments about the coverage from the event. We will talk about that too and the work that went into it. Because let's say this, it didn't happen overnight. It did take quite a team of people to make that possible. Yeah, the logistics and the production behind it was not easy. And thankfully we made it work. But yeah, what a stellar event, and the professionalism of all the backroom team. Just fantastic. So thank you to everyone who did recognize that and really enjoyed the coverage. And thank you for all your kind emails. There you go. All right. I think that's pretty much it for listener mail. We're going to wrap it up at this point. Yeah. But if you do have any comments, queries, or questions, you can always email us in, even if it's not a nomination for the Rab Show Awards. We'd love to have it. bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. All righty. Okay, well, you might have guessed, we're still sort of playing catch-up with one of our favourite features here on the show, Weekly Drone. Now, JD has been absolutely flat out with these. Whoa, my computer bings at me. Yeah, we have been inundated with Weekly Drones since the World Championships closed its doors. And, yeah, we're still playing catch-up with Weekly Drone. Now, we have another 4 that we're going to bring you this week, same as last week, and we're going to do our best to catch up here. So, JD... let's have this week's first Weekly Drone, please.
It's the Weekly Drone.
It's a pipe band. Rab, following on from the Weekly Drone 2 weeks ago, it's a pipe band. The drummers accompany the pipers. There may be a management team, but ultimately the pipe major has the final say. End of story.
Oh, come on. That old chestnut again. It's a pipe band, not a drum band. Right. Come on. I think you know how to start an argument in an empty room with that one. That's an argument as old as time. The bucket beaters against the bag blowers. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes both ends of the band are just as bad as each other. I'll say that. All right. Okay, pipers. I know that we're searching for tone. I get it that sometimes it takes time to do that. But does it really take a full band practice to find tone while your drummers are standing there losing the will? And they're like, come on, are we going to get playing the MSR tonight? And you're like, no, we're setting chanters. Like, really? All night? Anyway. But I'm now a piper, and I realize how difficult this is. And, once you've set a chanter and you think, that's it, it's done, Fine. You leave it for 5 minutes, you blow it again. Nah, it's gone. Where did that tone go? Just disappeared. Right, we have to go looking for it again. Moving tape, moving reeds. I don't know. Overblowing, underblowing. What's the crack? Is it moisture? Is it heat? Is it? I don't know. Yeah, piping is its own animal, and so is drumming. And comments like that about it's a pipe band. The drummers accompany the pipes. Well, I say this: it wouldn't be a band if you didn't have drummers. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, it'll just be a pipe. Oh, controversial. But you know, now I actually have the luxury of seeing both sides of the coin. Yeah, I've been a drummer for 30 odd years. I've been in that circle, done it. But now I'm seeing the other side, and piping now, it's a different animal. And I'm trying to see, that there are a lot of similarities as well as differences. So, yeah, I don't know. Does that give me a unique perspective? I don't know. I know plenty of drummers out there who went to the dark side and became a piper, and vice versa. I know a lot of pipers that are really good drummers. So anyway, let's fly on. JD, give us another weekly drum. Get me out of this argument, mate. Give me the next one.
It's the weekly drum. Quality. Rab, why is it so hard to get good quality pipe channer reeds? Tried several suppliers and went through loads of reeds, literally hundreds, but literally only a handful are good enough. We can't be alone.
Weekly drummer, that's a fair question, and it's a struggle that I think the bagpiping world has been dealing with for generations. Getting the perfect set of reeds, I don't know anyone that's ever managed to do it. And yeah, you're quite right. You could literally spend hundreds and thousands of pounds on reeds, and maybe out of the box you'll have a half dozen that you could use. Now, I know we mentioned it earlier there with that first weekly drone, when you're trying to chase tone, it's like the elusive, I don't know, the golden goose. You just can't get it. And then whenever you do, it's like, whoa, I found a golden goose. Right, it's kind of like that, with hundreds and hundreds of reeds. They're all made precisely the same way, but they're made from an organic material. That is one of the variables. Another one of the variables, I guess, is blowing pressure. Also, I hate to be gross, drummers, but if you're a wet blower or not, blech. Yeah, that's a thing. And also heat, moisture, as I've just mentioned there. Blech. And all of these other different variables come into play when selecting reeds for a band. Also, don't even get me started on the selection of chander. There are many different combinations that you can use out there to find your sound. Now, of course, here in the Big Rab Show, we're sponsored by G1 Reeds, and hey, I'm going to give them a plug. G1 Reeds do have a bit of a system whenever it comes to the strength of reeds. You can look at their website, the full information is up there, and I have to say, a lot of their readings and stuff for the various different strengths of reeds, pretty accurate. And the guys do spend quite a bit of time on that. They group their reeds together in batches, and those batches based on the strength of pressure it takes to make that reed sound. Now, again, you're dealing with organic material. Some can be better than others. Just depends on the particular batch that you got from your supplier, and you try and make the best reed possible. Now, I'm sure that's not just a challenge for G1, but it's also a challenge for all other reed makers in the industry. It's been talked about in the bagpiping world now for generations. It's a problem that I don't think we'll ever really see the end of. I don't know if synthetic chander reeds are really, I don't know. I know they exist, but I just don't know if they're up to the warmth of tone that you can get with a natural cane reed. So I don't know. It's one of those things. It's been, a topic and a real frustration for pipers out there for generations, and I can't see it ending anytime soon. So, yes, as for particular quality, of course, I would recommend some of the big heavy hitters, of course. Our sponsor, G1 Reeds, definitely top of our pile, of course. But there's other heavy hitters out there. We all know who they are. Chesney. Well, yeah, we know that there's other big heavy hitters out there. Absolutely, definitely worthy of your time. And, yeah, I think that's what it takes, is to spend that time Bring one of your band chanters with you and then sit down and run through a whole box and see how you go. And I don't know. Reed companies do like to work with bands as well. I'll put that out there too. I know this from experience. A lot of reed companies would send like a huge batch, right? A massive big box, and they would send it to a particular band and say, right, you've got 12 chanters to set up. Here's a massive box. Work your way through that. Get all the reeds that you need, and then return everything that you don't, and we'll charge you for the ones that you take. That's it. All right. So I do know a lot of reed companies do that. I don't know if that's still the case anymore. Might not be, of course. Times are hard, but that used to be the case whenever I noticed it in a lot of my experience on pipe bands. There you go. But as for me, as a piper, I am very fortunate. I don't have that stress. I literally get a chanter and a reed in it handed to me by my pipe major and said, you're playing this. And that's it. There's no setup. There's no, I'd like another reed. No, that's it. You're just handed it and going, you're blowing that this season. And that's it. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are probably in the same boat. You know, your PM or whoever it is that sets your band sound, that basically they hand you what you're playing. Is that you're playing this. That's it. And that's about as much as your choice goes. Yeah. So that's my experience. Anyway, let's fly on. JD, that was a good one, actually. So well done, Weekly Droner. That was a good one. That could be nearly full topic of the week right there. Anyway, let's fly on. Another Weekly Drone, JD. Number 3 for the week, I believe. Yeah.
It's the Weekly Drone. Emotion. Rab, when they announced the Grade 2 World Champions, we were standing behind the sky. As the band went bananas, one of their long-standing pipers sank to his knees, clearly overcome with emotion. I don't know his name, but that brief moment on Glasgow Green showed what it meant to him. It was a real touching moment.
Yeah. Weekly Droner, I know exactly the person you're talking about. I did witness that myself. I watched the celebrations. I was so chuffed for them. And I know that piper you're talking about. And yeah, genuinely that did display what it meant to them. And I think this kind of puts across the gravity of winning the Worlds. Okay, now I know we talk about it on the show here all the time, winning the big one, you know, and it just seems to be bread and butter. You know, you go to the Worlds, you win it, and you come home with a trophy. It's not that simple. For many pipers, many drummers, you can go to the Worlds every year for all of your piping career and never get close to a prize. Never even touch the top 3, never mind win the thing. So, yeah, that's been my experience in the bagpiping world. Dun, dun, dun. I need to get my sound effects board ready. I spoke about this on previous Rab Show podcasts, how I have won every major championship going. I've won them all a few times over as well. I know it sounds like I'm boasting, but the only one that I have never won was the Worlds. Now, I've come close a few times. I've finished up second a few times, a few thirds, and quite a few fourths and fifths and sixths along the road, but never finishing in that top spot and walking away with a World Championship medal. Yeah. Is that why I keep chasing the dragon? I guess it is. And I think that's what a lot of us, you know, are involved in this for. That pursuit of excellence. We mentioned this last week, actually. You know, not everyone gets to experience that. And for that piper there, that may well have been a lifetime of playing to achieve what they just achieved. And yeah, to see that player sink to their knees and just start crying like a child, it really does put across the emotion of that moment. Getting that name read out on the day, just all those years, all that effort, time, endless hours of practice, frustration, all came to a head at one moment. World champion. It's a huge moment, and I have tried to put this across to non-piping fans just how important the Worlds is, and people don't get it. They don't understand it, really. The sacrifice, the work that goes in, the Let's talk about it. The financial expense as well. All of that goes into this. And then for that one brief moment when they announce your name, that is everything. And yeah, that was a huge moment for that player, and to the Glasgow Sky, of course, as well. That band absolutely lost their minds. And it was such a cool moment. Yeah. And when you look back at the overall sheets as well, yeah, they done so convincingly. Yeah. So a big moment, and yes, emotion. Absolutely, Weekly Droner. I'm glad you sent that in. It does kind of put it across that this was important. Yeah. All right, JD, I believe we've got time for one more. So go on, let us have our fourth Weekly Drone for this week.
It's the weekly drone.
The sky. Rab, the sky we're seeing is a dark horse from the show for the worlds. But holy smokes, Batman. They were on fire, and eventually won the grade by over 10 points. That's not just winning the grade. That's ripping it up, tearing it down, then dropping the mic in front of the judges and the rest of the grade and walking away. So happy for the band.
Holy smokes, Batman. Yeah, fair play to the Sky. That's 2 weekly drones about Glasgow Sky. What's going on this week? But yeah, fair play. And honestly, but I did mention it there, didn't I? That was completely by accident. Whenever you did look at the overall sheets for grade 2, yeah, Glasgow Sky did absolutely win it convincingly. It was just really good. And a huge moment, for sure. And I think the outpouring of absolute support for the band following their win, clearly it meant a lot, not just to the Piper we were talking about earlier, but to the whole band. The whole organization seemed to be just buoyant. The whole crowd that was surrounding the Sky band organization were just so jubilant and just celebrating. I think they're still celebrating now, to be honest. But yeah, a huge moment, and deserved champions for sure. If you've ever listened back to the performance by Glasgow Sky, we do have it on our Worlds on the Ground Report Day 2. You can go back and have a listen to that. Such a stellar performance there. And yeah, recordings of the Glasgow Sky all season. The band have been very strong, and yeah, hard to deny. A great run for sure. Deserved world champions. There you go. Well, folks, that's it for Weekly Drone this week. We're going to draw a line under at this point. I know, that's 4 for this week. Normally, we only ever do 1, but we are still playing catch-up, really, after the Worlds. Yeah, so we still have a wealth of those on the shelf. Yeah, so send them in to us. If you do have your own particular Weekly Drone to share with us, you can do. Go to our website, thebigrabshow.com. There's a big button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone. Click on that, and you can let us know your thoughts, warts and all in some cases. Yeah, and they'll be broadcast here completely anonymous. There's no fear of recrimination with this one. It's an open microphone to the bagpiping world. It's one of our favorite features here. So yeah, absolutely. If you have any thoughts, send them in to us. Weekly Drone. Thebigrabshow.com. Right, folks. I think that's it for all the introductions and stuff, and all the usuals out of the road. I think it's time for me to take myself a little break, and I'll be right back with all of the news and updates.
Do you wish piping could be fun again? Bagpipers around the world continue to struggle with their instrument, despite hours of hard work trying to get better. Bagpiping should be fulfilling. Your hard work should pay off, showing improvement and the freedom to express yourself musically. Or why do it? The Dojo University believe every piper should be able to free themselves from musical frustration, proven over more than a decade of successful teaching and accessible anywhere with an internet connection. The Dojo is unlike any other bagpipe learning experience in the world. Let the Dojo channel your enthusiasm into a fun and fulfilling program that will empower you with the knowledge to fall in love with piping all over again. So go to dojouniversity.com/Big Rab and take advantage of our 30-day free trial of Dojo Premium membership. Join the global community of students today and rediscover the fun of bagpiping. dojouniversity.com/Big Rab for a 30-day free trial.
Okay, let's get into the news and updates. Now, I'm going to lead with a bit of a news story and a call to action more than anything else. Yeah, the 2025 MG Alba Scots Trad Music Awards, they've now opened their doors to nominations. Yes. Now, I'm going to be completely shameless here, and I'm going to ask for your support. Now, you may remember, a few years ago now, ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we were nominated previously for a Scots Trad Music Award. Now, we didn't win, but to be in that space was simply incredible, and a huge vote of confidence for ourselves here in the Big Rab Show team. Well, the nominations are now open again, and we would like to be back in the fight again. I know, I'm being pretty shameless about it, but yeah, we're going to lead out with this news story because it is a call to action. You can go to handsupfortrad.scot right now and follow all the links for the Scots Trad Music Awards 2025. And we would appreciate it if you did drop us a little nomination for category number 21. Now, granted, that's 21 categories out of our possible 22, so you do need to kind of scroll for a little bit before you actually get to category 21, and that is Trad Music in the Media. And please do go and visit it and type it in, The Big Rab Show, under category 21. We would be very grateful. And I hope to update you on this story if we do actually manage to get nominated. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that front, but depends on the public support, you know. They're very similar to the Big Rab Show Awards in that you need to nominate your favourite. So if you do enjoy our show, and if you're listening to my voice right now, you do listen to it. So yeah, we would appreciate it if you would consider nominating us for a Scots Trad Music Award under category number 21. There you are. For full information, of course, you can go and check it out. Of course, some huge categories in there. Of course, Scottish Pipe Band of the Year would be one for us to pay attention to as well. You can give your favourite pipe band a nomination in there too. But also, you know, like Event of the Year, Venue of the Year, Music Tutor of the Year as well. There's a lot of great pipe intuition out there that I'm sure would deserve some recognition at the Trads. So yeah, the Scots Trad Music Awards, for those of you who don't know what they are, they're kind of seen as like the Oscars of the folk and trad music scene. You know, ourselves here in the Big Rab Show, we've been there once, and we've been following these awards now for years. And yeah, it really is quite a glitzy affair for those who are involved in trad and folk music. And ourselves here in the Big Rab Show, of course, we do what we can to kind of publicize our bagpiping world on a global scale. So to receive our nomination all the way back then, yeah, years ago, honestly, was a real shot in the arm, and we just had the best time possible at the award ceremony. We were in sunny Dundee, and what a night that was. A night to remember for us. And yeah, we would love to be back in the fight again for this next one for 2025. So the nominations are open right now, and the nominations will close on Sunday, the 19th of October. So you do have a bit of time. So please do take your opportunity now and go and visit the website, the Scots Trad Music Awards 2025, and drop ourselves a bit of a nomination for category number 21. I know, I'm being absolutely shameless, but hi, I may as well, you know. Thank you very much. All right, so moving on. Speaking of awards, let's talk about the Big Rab Show Awards. Now, we briefly touched on it earlier on in the show when we were talking about listener mail and stuff. Yeah, the nominations are absolutely flying in. Now, all of those categories, yeah, it kind of does make your head spin. That was one of the big complaints that we got. There's too many of them. All right. I want to briefly run through them again just to kind of spark some ideas in your head. If you are thinking of sending us in some nominations, these are the following categories for the Big Rab Show Awards. We have Most Improved Band, Best Tenor Flourishing, Best Venue, Best Dressed, Best Competitive Band Medley Performance. We have Coolest Bass Drum, Drum Major of the Year, Coolest Drums, Best Concert or Live Performance. We have Best Social Media. We have Best Band Tent or Gazebo. Could just about talk. We also have the Best Branch Awards, the Best New Product or Innovation. We have Best Beard. Yep. We also have the Big Rab Show Tone Award, followed by Band of the Year and the Big Rab Show Legend Award. Now, yeah, that's a lot to take in there. I do get it. But yeah, full instructions are available on our socials, Big Rab Show on our Facebook page. Go and check that out. But yeah, our advice is if you want to nominate your favorite in any of those categories I've just mentioned, it has to be emailed to us. all right? I've got a lot of personal messages, DMs and such, say, oh, Rab, you need to nominate this and this. They don't get counted. You need to email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Even if you get, well, just to help us out, you can put nomination in the title of your email and send it in to us. And yes, they will all get counted. Now, as we mentioned, nominations do close on the 11th of October. Yeah, we will be announcing our finalists next week. Oh, baby. That's exciting. So, yeah, that's next week. But, yeah, nomination window will close on Saturday at 5 p.m. UK time. Get your nominations in. All right, I think I've reminded you enough about this at this point. Time to fly on to get into some actual piping news. All right, awards aside. It's that time of year, though, isn't it? Where there's awards and things happening all over the place. Not just in the piping world and the trad and folk scene, but all around the world, I guess, for that matter. Anyway, let's fly on. Okay, so let's get into our first news story, shall we? Well, last week we talked about the departure of Jack Lee. Yes, he's hanging up his competitive bagpipes and he's stepping away from the Simon Fraser University. And we spoke about that being quite an end of an era there for SFU. Well, we were keen to find out, well, who's going to be filling some quite big brogues there at SFU? Well, we didn't have to wait too long. There was an announcement on bagpipe.news where Pipe Major Alan Bevan at a recent event to mark Jack's departure, he announced to all the band members that Craig Sutherland is going to be the brand new pipe sergeant there. Yes, so Craig, of course, from Perthshire in Scotland. Yeah, he joined the band there back in 2016 and has been there since. He has a wealth of experience in the competitive world, for sure. Yeah, he's been a front-rank player of SFU, and he's captured quite a lot of, solo silverware along the way. He managed to win the gold medal at the Argyllshire Gathering, of course. He also won the gold medal at the Northern Meeting there last year, and yeah, the A-grade MSR in the Northern Meeting as well in 2023. So, yeah, he knows his onions, does our Craig. So, looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to that role. Yes, and congratulations on the appointment there. Yeah. So, and also, shout out to the SFU Pipe Band on their quite special event that they had to recognize the transition of Jack Lee's multi-decade tenure is what they had in their press release here. But also, congratulations to Craig on the new appointment. That's very exciting. So, yeah, we now have new leadership and at the helm of the Simon Fraser University. Again, we talk about this every time, but when there is a change of leadership for a pipe band, that can absolutely alter things. Now, we've seen our new pipe sergeant also appointed for People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, of course, with Bradley Parker. That's exciting. But also the new leadership that we spoke about for the Federation Band last week. Yeah, if you didn't catch that pod, remember what I said? You need to go back and listen to it. Yeah, Police Scotland and Federation have a brand new pipe major and new lead tipper. That story's been out for a while now, but hey, it's so exciting, isn't it? But yeah, new leadership at pipe bands can absolutely transform them. So what will we see from Simon Fraser this incoming season? Now, with Craig in the pipe sergeant role, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Oh, we'll have to keep across that. There you go. Exciting times at Simon Fraser University. There you are. All right, let's move on to the next news story. We briefly mentioned this earlier on in the show. Yeah, the New Zealand Young Piper of the Year competition was this past weekend. And yes, we have to say congratulations to Seamus Eade, who managed to pick up the title. Woohoo! Go on, Seamus. Now, Seamus done so quite convincingly, actually. Yeah, with such stellar performances. But he didn't have it all his own way. Yeah, the competition itself was just, I don't know, it was on a razor's edge for me. Performance after performance was just absolutely stellar. And yeah, well done to Seamus. He managed to lift it overall in aggregate points. I think he was tied overall with Maggie McConaughey as well. So that's maybe something that Rab got wrong. But looking at my mathematics here, I think Seamus managed to win it in Pembroke Preference because he actually won the Pembroke event. Yeah, so he finished third in the MSR. So there we are. But yes, for all of the results and all of that good stuff, and for the full live stream coverage from this event, yeah, go and check it out. Big Rab Show on YouTube. Yeah, we managed to live stream both the Pembroke competition and the MSR. And we mentioned earlier about the production that went into this. I have to give full credit to the backroom team, to everyone who helped put this together. All of the associated sponsors, the volunteers, the cameramen, the sound guys, the runners even. Everyone there at the New Zealand Young Piper competition are just fantastic. You know, we're all in this to make this event as a best of success as possible. And if you've caught any of those performances, I'm sure you will agree that the standard was ridiculously high. And for Seamus Eade to come out on top, full congratulations, Seamus. Well done. So, he managed to go home with the title and $1,000 New Zealand dollars in his sporran. And, we actually managed to catch a bit of an exclusive interview with Seamus just after he lifted the title. So if you go and check that out, that's at the end of our light music live stream where we did catch up with our prize winners there. There you are. So again, a huge, huge thank you to everyone there at the New Zealand Young Piper of the Year competition. I don't know, every year does not disappoint. And I don't know, it continues to get better each year is what I'm going to say. This year was just absolutely stellar. And also, for those of you who have commented and stayed with me throughout the duration of the live stream, thank you. Thank you. It is a heck of a marathon of bagpiping, I have to say. Yeah, we started at like 9 p.m. UK time on the Friday, and we went all the way through. I think it was nearly 11 a.m. Saturday morning by the time we finished here. So that was quite a length of time, to be listening to Pembroke, and then you get maybe an hour or two break, and then you're in for the light music then, and that rolled through for another 4 hours. It's crazy, but we loved every moment of it, and just being a part of it was just fantastic. So again, a huge thank you to the organising team and to all of you who tuned in and made it such a huge success. If you haven't caught it yet, please do. Go and take some time. Go and check it out in the Rab Show YouTube channel. It's definitely worthy of your time and attention. Some real stellar good performances in there. And I'm not going to pick out favourites. Honestly, even like some of the freestyle medley competition that we got at the end, that was all sorts of fun. Honestly, I think Maggie's medley performance stuck out for me because I just love that tune, Kari Kariana. Anyway, but there's tons of other great music as well to enjoy. And also, I have to give a shout out to Taylor Eagle, who celebrated her 18th birthday at the competition as well. So happy birthday, Taylor. So I marked it with quite a cool moment where all the competitors played happy birthday for her. That was nice. So such a stellar competition. I think that's it pretty well covered. If you want to see the full listings of all the prizes and all that stuff, as well as our live stream coverage, go and check it out. Rab Show on social media. We've done our best to get you all covered there, indeed. All right, speaking of solo competitions, let's talk about the Glenfiddich, shall we? Not too long from now where the Glenfiddich is just around the corner. It's hard to believe this is the 52nd annual Glenfiddich Championship. Can you believe that? Wow. Anyway, so yes, the 52nd Glenfiddich Piping Championship now finally has the lineup confirmed. Yes, and want to talk about the Captain John A. McClelland Memorial Competition? Yeah, Callum Beaumont managed to lift that overall. So just to cover that bit of results there, full congratulations to Callum Beaumont, who did manage to lift it overall in aggregate points. And congratulations. Other competitors on the day included Willie McCallum, who Callum was actually, he was a drawing with. I think it was kind of a two-way tie between Callum Beaumont and Willie McCallum, but Callum managed to win it on aggregate points in the Pembroke results, so well done. Also there was Finlay Johnson, who managed to finish third in the Pembroke competition. Finlay also managed to finish second in the MSR to Sarah Muir. Yeah, and Willie McCallum finished third in the MSR, and Callum Beaumont was fourth in the MSR competition. Yeah, so that was the Captain John A. McClelland MBE Memorial. And yes, as I mentioned, let's talk a bit more about the Glenfiddich, shall we? Talk about the lineup for that. If you do want to get more of that information about the Captain John A. McClelland competition, that is available online as well. That happened there in Edinburgh over the weekend. Right, Glenfiddich. The lineup is as follows. We have Callum Beaumont, who is our defending 2024 Glenfiddich champion. We knew Callum was going to be there whenever he lifted it last year. That's a given. Let's get into the rest of it. Well, also appearing, we have Finlay Johnson. Yes, he's the Brack Gorham winner, of course, from the Scottish Piping Society of London at their annual competition, and he secured his spot that way. We also have Alistair Henderson. Yes, he was the overall winner of the Scottish Piping Society of London in their annual competition. Yeah, there you go, Alistair Henderson. We also have Alan Bevan. He managed to win the Masters, of course. Yes. The RG Hardy & Co. Bagpipes Masters solo competition. Yeah, and that secured Alan's spot. We also have Stephen Lisk. Yeah, Stephen, you managed to win the gold medal at the Argyllshire Gathering earlier. There you are. We also have Stuart Little, who was the winner of the Senior Pembroke at the Argyllshire Gathering as well. We have Brodie Watson-Massey. Yes, he was a gold medalist, of course, at the Northern Meeting this year. Then we have Angus McCall. He managed to finish in second place at the Northern Meeting clasp competition in the Senior Pembroke. We also have Nick Hudson. He picked up a second place in the Argyllshire Gathering Senior Pembroke. And then we have Ben Duncan, who also picked up a prize at the Argyllshire Gathering. Former winners, MSR. Picked up second place there. Yeah, so that is your Glenfiddich Championship lineup confirmed. There you are. So, for full details about the Glenfiddich, you can go to the National Piping Centre website right now. Tickets for it are, I think they are still available, but on very limited supply is what I've been told. For those of you listening internationally, of course, you will be able to live stream the full thing from the Glenfiddich. Tickets for the online live stream, I believe, are available right now. So, I guess that's my advice. Go to the National Piping Centre's website and, follow all the links for the tickets for this year's Glenfiddich. So looking forward to that, actually. So after watching all the kids there in New Zealand, it's really kind of given me a flavour of the talent that's happening there in New Zealand. It's fantastic to watch. But then, obviously, it kind of sets me up well for the Glenfiddich on the 25th of October. So looking forward to that. Yeah. Also for drummers, never to be outdone, as much as we're talking about the Glenfiddich coming up, we need to talk about the world's solo drumming. Yeah, we haven't mentioned it yet up until this point, and that is on purpose. Yes, the World Solo Drumming Championship is happening on the 18th of October, just around the corner, and the draw is now available. You can go and have a read at it at your leisure. Yeah, go along, visit it on the RSPBA website. It's all published up there now. Let's talk about the adult grade, okay? Now, I do know there's a wealth of other grades out there, and they're huge, okay? So if you are entered for the solos, your name has been published, your draw times are all up there now. Go and check them out. Let's talk about the adult snare drumming, okay? First of all, let's get into semi-final number 1. We have quite a lineup in here. Semi-final 1, I would argue... This is going to be tight. All right, we have Jake Jorgensen, from Scottish Power. We have Eric McNeil from the City of Dunedin. We have Stephen McWhirter from Inverary. Stephen Crichton from St. Lawrence. We have Derek Cooper from the Ulster Scottish. Cameron Lawson from Inverary. Matthew Shaw from Rivara. We have Aaron McWilliams from Shotts. Jamie Kerr from Closkelt. Ashley Fife from Field Marshal. Aaron Jess from Rivara. Glenn Crichton from St. Lawrence. We have Ewan McDonald from Boghall. Willie Glenholmes then from Field Marshal. And Blair Beaton from Inverary. Whew. You talk about a group of 15 drummers and any one of those. Seriously, I know I get accused of sitting on the fence sometimes, but come on. How many lead drummers are in that one group right there? You know? With Matthew Shaw, with Derek Cooper, Stephen Crichton. Come on. Right, Jake Jorgensen, Eric McNeil. Right. And do I even need to mention Willie Glenholmes? I read the full list. I don't need to go back. But, this is kind of a who's who of the competitive solo world. A lot of them in one group. And, of course, a previous champion, Stephen McWhirter's in there. Anyway, so that is your Group 1. Looking at Group 2 then, we have Connor Lawler from St. Lawrence. We have Edward Roxburgh from People's Forward Boghall and Bathgate, Caledonia. Give the full title. We have Richard Black in there from Hawthorne. Yes, we have Robbie Patz from Boghall. We have Daniel Mulcahy. Right. Pronouncing names incorrectly, Daniel. My apologies. Daniel's from St. Lawrence. We have Darren Brown from Inverary. We have Kerr McQuillan from People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate. Yes. We have Douglas Bisland, of course, from the city of Invercargill. Yeah. We have Lachlan Gibb from Cooterran District. Stephen Shedden from Hawthorne. Alec Buchanan from the Field Marshal. Craig Laurie from Uddingston. Eli Fugit from St. Lawrence. Blair Thomas Brown from St. Thomas Alumni. And Scott Coyle then from the Boggies. And again, you talk about a ridiculous lineup. like, where do we even begin with that? Again, multiple lead tippers in there and a previous world champion in the mix in there. Shout out to Kerr. Come on. Stevie Shedden, Craig Laurie, Eli Fugit, Connor Lawler, come on. All of these drummers in here, again, another list of 15. Any one of these could absolutely lift it. So, am I going to give a prediction? No. Absolutely not. I've been asked by a few, will I be doing like a prediction of the world solos? And no, absolutely not. I think you could throw a dart at a dartboard and any one of those drummers out of the 30 will absolutely win it. Yeah, so good luck to all of you. Apologies to Daniel for mispronouncing your surname. My apologies. Good luck to everyone in there. Out of both of those semi-final groups, I don't know which one could be classed as the group of death. You know the way there normally is kind of talked about, as a group of death. Semi-final 1 is tough and semi-final 2 is just as bad. It's just as tough. So, to any of you that make it through to the final at the solos, that's as good as a win. I know we keep saying that. It sounds very cheesy and cliche, but genuinely that's the case. So, if you qualify, well done. But if you manage to lift in that top spot, equally, you deserve a pint afterwards. There you go. But I do know a good number of all of these drummers we just mentioned are all furiously preparing now behind the scenes, putting in countless hours of practice and everything. And shout out to Kerr McQuillan, actually, who's been using the MusoLink app. And you can actually follow Kerr on his practice progress, which has been really quite interesting. He does a morning session, an afternoon session, and an evening. He has 3 practice sessions each day. And even more on some occasions. So, I may be giving away some trade secrets there, but that's through the MusoLink app. So you can go and follow Kerr McQuillan over there. It's been interesting. Shout out to all of those drummers, and not just for adults, by the way, for all the other grades as well, for, the 14, 16, and younger, all of you. And, of course, the bass and tenors as well. So good luck, everyone there. That's going to be a very interesting competition. We'll probably talk more about it next week, of course, because, it's next weekend. But next week, we're going to get tied up in everything with the Big Rab Show Awards when we're announcing our finalists, so we might not get time. So that's why we're giving it a shout this week. So good luck to all of our competitors at next week's World Solos. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Well, I did have it on my list of shameless plugs to do this week, but I don't really have to do a shameless plug for it because it's sold out. What am I talking about? This weekend is the Queen Elizabeth Pipe Band fundraising concert in Castle Dawson. And I am very ready for this. Having been compere at the last few of these, honestly, they've been such amazing events. And it's been brilliant to be a part of them. So they've invited me back and I'm compere again this upcoming weekend. And I'm really looking forward to it. The lineup for this concert, we were talking about it on Fuse actually last night. Really quite stellar. And I think with us talking about it on the radio last night, I think that's what pushed the last of the tickets because they're now gone. So if you are looking to attend the fundraising concert this weekend, then sorry, you're out of luck. Tickets are away. The entire thing's sold out. Yeah. So, playing at the concert this weekend, just out of interest, we have the Queen Elizabeth Pipe Band themselves. We also have the Solus Highland Dancers from Mid-Ulster branch. They'll be there. We'll also have Closs Celt Pipe Band. He'll be stepping out on stage and melting our faces with some big tunes. I'm looking forward to that. We also have the Mid-Ulster Drum Major Academy. Yes, a lot of youngsters learning there, so looking forward to seeing some drum majoring action. We also have Blazing Bellows, which are a brilliant band, by the way, if you haven't seen them. I'm a huge fan. It brings bagpiping and accordion playing together and they play all sorts of party tunes. Very, very fun. We also have a local act called The Third Party, along with a male soloist that you may be familiar with, Alan McBride. Yes, that name's familiar to a lot of folk. So that's all this weekend. Of course, I'll be the compere on the evening, trying to keep people entertained in between acts when they're getting stuff set up and stuff. So I'll keep you all in good chat. That's all this weekend in Castle Dawson. And as I mentioned, tickets are sold out. So there's no point in me really plugging this because, for those of you who've got tickets, I'll see you all there. And for those of you who haven't got tickets, well, hey, you missed out. And we'll see you all next year, I guess. All right, move on. Okay, want to very briefly mention, I think I did mention this last week, but I just want to give it another plug. This week is a save the date. All right? Now, I know people listen to the show and they sometimes listen with a pen and paper. This is a date for your diary. I know we don't do that section anymore, but yeah, this is one for your diary. The Kids with Cancer Charity Night has told us all to keep the 28th of March free. Okay? That's it. Now, there's been tons of rumors. I'm going to talk about rumors in a second. But Kids with Cancer Charity Night, 28th of March. And there's been so much chat about who's going to be playing at this. So many rumors. I have heard all sorts of different bands. Oh, I've heard it on good authority. It is insert name here. But yeah, I have to say, no one's got it right yet. I do know who's playing at the event next year, but I'm not going to say. But anyone who's messaged me and gone, oh, Rab, I heard from this man and this man that it's definitely this band here. And well, I can tell you, no, it isn't. Right, but let's talk about rumors, shall we? Well, again, just to reinforce that, date for your diary, 28th of March for the Kids with Cancer Night, 2026. So there you are, get that date in your diary, folks. But let's talk about rumors, all right? Because the rumor machine has absolutely kicked into overdrive. I don't know what it is about this time of year. It is affectionately known as transfer season. I get it, okay? This is the time of year where people start moving bands and they go to different places or, yeah, this normally sees the changes in personnel, all right? That's nothing new. But it's the rumor machine, the gossip machine that has really kicked into overdrive. I have heard so many stories about a multitude of bands, including in our top flight all the way down to the grassroots. I've heard so many stories about arguments, bust-ups, and people not talking to each other. And, Rob, guess what happened? The entire drum corps walked out, and now there's no band. Oh, guess what happened? There was a huge falling out with the pipe corps, and now every piper left and just left a bunch of drummers standing. All of this stuff, okay, and that's what it is. I'm trying to be polite here without using my button. There, all of it, I would take with a pinch of salt. All right, folks, now, as much as we all love a good gossip and we love chatting about the scene whenever we're in our band halls, I would recommend holding back and maybe not engaging as quick to jump on a potential story, all right? Because, ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we have been sent so much stuff as this is absolutely happening. Rab, I heard it from a reliable source. I've heard it from this source, that source. The next door neighbor's dog heard it. All of that kind of stuff. We very rarely report a story based on rumor or gossip or any of that kind of stuff. You know, we only ever really report a story once we get an announcement from either the band or the people involved. That's it. Everything else, we just sort of let be, you know. Now, I do know there's other news outlets out there. I'm not going to quote them, but they have been putting out some of these rumors and some of these potential kind of whispers behind the scenes. Oh, I heard this is happening, and guess what? La 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 la, etc., etc. It seems to be this time of year, all of that kicks up. All right. And I don't know what it is. It's happened for as long as I can remember now in the piping scene. Transfer season is what it is. This was when people start talking. Oh, I heard that this guy is no longer talking to that guy, and now there's a massive falling out, and people are picking sides, etc., etc. All right. Now, we did talk about this in a previous show, talking about loyalties in pipe bands and how, you know, some people believe that loyalties can be lacking and all of that. But also geography can be a factor. Success in competitions also a factor. But also wanting to push yourself and progress up a grade perhaps, or even taking a step back to, relax a little in your competitive world. And that a lot can go into that decision of moving bands. And as for all the stories of dramas and all that kind of stuff, rather than feed into all of that, I'd rather just wait until we hear the story from the horse's mouth themselves. All right? So once there's a story, there's a story. For now, it's all rumor and okay? So whereas we do appreciate receiving the gossip, okay? There's been a lot of it. So thank you. we do appreciate it. But just to, address why we're not talking about it, okay? Plenty of rumor, all that stuff, but we very rarely engage in it and put it out there as absolute fact, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of the stories are just that. They're just stories, okay? So my advice is, again, if you're wanting to use ourselves as the Big Rab Show as a reputable outlet for news and things that's actually happening, well, that's our focus, okay? If you want us to get into the gossip and all that good stuff, then, hey, absolutely. Send us in a weekly drone and we'll get into it. But, hey, I hope that makes sense, and that's taken care of a lot of the stuff we got in listener mail and comments on social media over this last number of weeks. Since the worlds have sort of wrapped up, there's been a lot of rumor and talk and gossip throughout the piping scene, throughout the transfer season. And I guess the proof is in the pudding. Once we have the story, then we'll talk about it. All right? The gossip machine keeps on turning. All right, let's fly on. Okay, before we do wrap things up, I do want to give a mention this weekend about the Glasgow Rudimental Drumming Festival. Now, this is really quite fascinating. It's happening at 45 Washington Street. You might be aware of that address. Yes, so that's taking place thanks to Tom Barnes Drumming, who's putting this all together. Now, that's not just for pipe band drumming, okay? It's for all rudimental drumming. So this could be really fascinating. An insight into all sorts of different drumming worlds that you might not have had an appreciation for. So, yeah, you'll have all sorts of world-class artists and ensembles that will be providing demonstrations and workshops and all sorts of stuff. Now, you can also bring a pair of sticks with you and have a go. That's what, they're actually recommending this. So, it's a celebration of rudimental drumming. And, like Scotland has never seen. That's what they say in their press release. So, there'll be stalls, of course, where you can buy all sorts of great rudimental drumming swag. And for all of this detail, you can go along to Tom Barnes Drumming on his socials, or, of course, you can visit Eventbrite, where you can go and grab your tickets for it now. Now, you don't have to be a pipe band drummer to enjoy it. As I've mentioned, it's all rudimental drumming. So that does include all sorts of marching band stuff and just everything that you need to incorporate rudiments in. That's what it's about. So, looking forward to seeing reports from this, actually. I did follow it in previous years and had quite exciting number of performances at it. So, looking forward to this. The Glasgow Rudimental Drumming Festival 2025 is happening this weekend, October 10th through 12th. And, it's going to be a lot to enjoy for drummers there. There you go. So, shout out to Tom Barnes Drumming for putting all of this together. And, wish you every success with this, mate. So, go and grab your tickets now. Go to eventbrite.com and just follow the links and stuff. Just type it in the search engine, Glasgow Rudimental Drumming, and you'll find it. There you go. So, that's going to be enjoyable there. All ahead of the World Solos the following week. Good stuff. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for all of the news and updates for this week. I do want to give a bit of a shameless plug. Yet another one before I do get into this week's topic. Have to mention Ross Miller, who has dates for a bit of a UK tour at the moment. He's been playing concerts and stuff all across Scotland, but for now, he's heading to England. Yes, on the 26th of November, he's in Leeds. The 27th of November, he's in Norwich. And the 28th of November, he's in London. So, all sorts of great Ross Miller music to enjoy if you're in England there. So, shout out to Ross Miller Music. Go to his website, buy tickets, and go and enjoy the gigs. Exciting stuff. All right, folks, that's pretty much it for all the news and updates. Yeah, you guessed it. It's time for me to go and get a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk. Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom-designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Ghillie Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Hello, this is Kerr McQuillan, and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
Yes, time for topic of the week. That cup of tea was well deserved, I think. We covered a lot of ground there. Yeah, right. Now, the title of this week's episode kind of does give it away. We're about to get back to our Meet the Band series. And yes, this week we're catching up at the City of Plymouth. Now, full disclosure, this was first recorded way at the start of the season. Okay? And it has taken until this point where we've had an opportunity to actually release it. So that's on us. Hey, we recorded this way back in like May, June time, something like that. And then here we are now in October, and we're only ever letting it see the light of day. That's on us. Apologies to the folks at City of Plymouth, but we do think that this is quite a cool conversation. We get to find out more about the City of Plymouth band, about their motivations, all of that stuff. We're about to get into it in this week's show. So, yeah, we're about to revisit Meet the Band. I would encourage anyone that's listening to this episode or any future ones where we're meeting more bands in the future, then please do email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. If your band has a story to tell, then we'll certainly bring it to a future topic of the week. And yeah, we'll promise that we're not going to keep it on the shelf as long as we did for this one. So, let's get into it. Let's welcome the City of Plymouth Pipe Band to the Big Rab Show. Okay, well, the topic of this week's episode kind of gives it away as to who exactly we're going to be chatting to. But I'll let them introduce themselves first of all. So I'm going to start with Tom. Tom, who are you?
Good morning. My name is Tom. I'm a drummer in the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. I joined the band January of 25, so this year. Thoroughly enjoying it already. Our third competition in. So I won't I won't spoil any more. But yeah, I'm Tom, and I play in the drums.
There you are. So you're going to be representing all the drummers then, are you? Are you the voice of the drummers?
Indeed, I shall certainly try today, yeah.
No pressure then, Tom, no. Yeah. Also joining us, we have Ian as well. Ian, how are you?
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, good, thanks. So I'm Ian. I'm also the secretary for the band. I've been with the band about 2.5, 3 years. And so, yeah, learned as a sort of youngster, university, big gap in my piping, like a lot of people unfortunately do. Got myself back into it, and thankfully for the likes of Gordon and our pipe sergeant Adam, some really good support, and just going strength and strength for piping. And
there you go. So
and
with the bag under your arm, but you were also handed the secretary's job as well. Yikes!
Yeah, I stupidly volunteered to cover it for a couple of months between an EGM and an AGM while they found somebody, and I'm still doing it. And I do the social media.
Your first mistake again. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, but I believe we also have the pipe major joining us as well. Would you like to introduce yourself there, Gordon?
My name's Gordon. I joined the band 9 years ago now. Initially resisted taking over the role of pipe major for the first year because I'd been in a couple of bands that had gone well, not gone well. Just wanted to take a break from it all. And then after the first year, I decided that obviously what I've learnt through other bands I could use here and raise the standard of this band. So when it was offered to me, I took on the role the following year, and for my sins, I'm still there. I'm still hammering away.
There you go, and the rest is history. Yeah. Indeed. So I want to learn a bit about the history of the band. Can anyone tell me, how did the band start? Where did it all begin?
Yeah, like any good story, it starts in the pub. 1975, so we're on 50 years now, which is really something. A chap called Charlie Turnbull, who was a member of the Argyle and Southern Highlanders in the army. He spoke with a bunch of friends in the pub by the sounds of it, and had a chat with a chap called Steve Fitch, I think started as a kit drummer actually, and they and basically came to a decision over a few pints and decided to form a band. And so it was the Argyle and the Plymouth Argyle Pipe Band. Then it became associated with the Argyle and Southern Highlanders Association, so it took on their name. And then in '85, the branch of the association expanded, and the City Council gave us permission to be named City of Plymouth Pipe Band. We're really lucky. We've still got Steve Fitch, who was there on day one in the pub, still active as a drummer with us.
Right.
So
he's still in the back line, is he?
Yeah. He's most turning out on static gigs these days, but yeah, he's there. He's been an absolute stalwart for the band, which is phenomenal.
I'm sure he's got some stories to tell about those early days. I'm sure.
I think he's in his mid-80s now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it must be 83 plus.
My goodness. So has there been any kind of stories or flavors from those early days? Like what sort of challenges, did the guys have to overcome then to actually make a band?
I think one of the ones that stands out to me is actually how they got their first uniforms. We've got some cracking early photos, which are on our social media, where they're all in these fabulous number ones. But what you can't see from an old photo is they probably stunk a bit because they were actually smoke damaged in a fire. And somebody managed to rescue them, acquire them, and that was what they had to get off the ground. And so yeah, it's a bit crazy.
Well, whenever you're starting things out, is what I'm learning through this Meet the Band series is that you take what you get. You do what you can to get out there. Yeah.
It's an expensive thing. I started a pipe band a few years ago called the Black Thistle Pipe Band, and we were actually using polyviscose kilts,
right?
Because wool was just so expensive.
There you go. Yeah,
but it got us outfitted at a fraction of the cost and got us on the grass.
There you are. Yeah, absolutely. And even for instruments too. I know bands have helped other bands with secondhand chanters and things like that. So yeah, you do what you can to get off the ground. Yeah. So
the challenge was we're still trying to raise funds continually. We've got quite a few learners, which is great to be down in the southwest with learners. But where do we get them pipes from? We've acquired new drums this year. We've just more kilts we've had to buy this year. So it's massive challenge.
That's it. And as a band grows, that finance becomes all the more apparent, doesn't it? Yeah, constantly fundraising, I'm sure. Yeah, so, well, I want to talk about some of the colourful characters that might have come through the ranks of the band from that outset back in the 70s. Has there been any kind of standout member that really sticks in your memory?
I've got a few noted down that I was asked to mention. A drum major called Mike Moyes, who was apparently a sort of huge, great hulking guy. You can imagine that back on the back line. John Baxter, who led the band for quite a few years, he's still with the band. Eddie Campbell, who's again still with the band, was pipe major for a number of years. A drum major, Commander Charles Crichton, who sadly passed back in 2022, led the band for quite a number of those years. So yeah, we've had these characters that come through and just allowed that continuity to be there.
I see, yeah, and shaped the future of the band as to where it is now, I guess. Yeah. But what I'm hearing, Gordon, is that quite a number of people, they start their piping life with this band, but they don't go anywhere else. There seems to be a lot of loyalty with the band.
It's the Southwest's a bit of a funny area. There's not an awful lot of bands down here, so there's not a lot of places you can go. So it's almost like piping no man's land. There is a few bands dotted about, but none of them are registered there as PBA.
Right. Yeah.
And the quality of these bands aren't what you call the best. Yeah. We are experiencing at the minute. We've got a couple of players at the minute that have come from us that are actually in the Royal Navy that are stationed here.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So you get them for a limited amount of time until they get stationed somewhere else.
And then away they go. Then yeah.
So there's a little bit of that. We've got a couple at the minute that are actually very good players. How long they're here, we don't know.
No.
But that is one of the problems, that the pool of people that can actually are existing players is very small. And those that can play haven't been taught by very great pipers or very great drummers, because there just isn't any down this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So to try and pick the standard up has been quite hard work, but very rewarding, I have to say. And we're finally getting there.
Oh, that's it too. It seems to be paying dividends for sure. Like looking at your stuff on socials, it's been really quite vibrant this last while. Talk about that in a second or two. But I wanted to get into what the tuition and everything you mentioned there, Ian. And I want to throw this to Tom, especially for drummers and stuff. Sometimes finding tuition for drummers can be quite difficult. Is the band actively teaching youngsters how to drum at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a couple of guys down at the band that are based in Plymouth themselves. Brian Playfair, who's recently joined the drum corps. He's been out of drumming for a little while. I'm not sure exactly how long, but he's just recently come back, and he wanted to come back as a competing drummer again. He has competed before, but yeah, he wanted to come back competing. And yeah, just like Gordon and as Ian has touched on as well, that we have got young players coming in, people that sort of have played before, have gone away, have come back, wanted to start up again. So yeah, we've really got a good network down in Plymouth, which is great, because they are getting really well. They're focused. They're really interested in the band and what we're doing. We get them out on parades, get them involved with the band. It's not like we just stick them in a room and just say, "That's that." This is the music. Do your thing. We take them with us, get them involved with the band. Which is great. So yeah, we have a fantastic network of people down there. Gordon, another lady piper we own the band called Kay, I believe, as well, teaches some of the drummers. Some of the pipers down there. So yeah, it's a fantastic setup they've got in the Plymouth section down there. Obviously, I do my bit up here with the drummers, the competition drummers, as much as I can as well, juggling work and things. As I touched on, logistics is a bit of an issue, but we do social media, the power of social media, we get through that.
There you go. All right, Ian, we're going to have to ask you.
Talking social media, I'm going to blow Ian's trumpet a little bit here, because since Ian's come along, our presence on social media has gone from terrible to, oh my goodness.
It has blown up this last while, yeah.
We've been doing a lot of impromptu little performances in the middle of the town centre and things that he's organised. And on the back of that, we've had a lot of inquiries. We've had a few people come down, a few youngsters and whatnot, which, to be honest, when I joined the band, I think the average age was creeping towards 70.
Oh, okay. All right.
So now when you see the younger players coming in, and there's middle-aged players, and there's a real field of young to old now in the band, which wasn't there when I started. And I have to say, Ian has been a massive part of getting our name out there, getting our presence out there, and people to see it, people to contact, and actually get those people to turn up and take part in the practices. So yeah, I will big him up on that one. He's done an absolutely stellar job with that.
You have, Ian. So I know we're all singing your praises here, but it has really been noticed, even internationally. Like, your stuff has went really around the globe now. Have you found that with the reaction?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. Obviously, I can see the stats in the background through the Meta app that you can use to manage multiple accounts. Seeing a lot of American, Canadian, Australian, New Zealanders. There's a City of Plymouth in New Zealand, so they've been messaging and in contact. And really trying to drive locally, and it is paying off through some of the recruiting. And still trying to target that younger age, which is tricky. As well, Tom's recently added a TikTok account.
Really? There you go.
She has a bit of a different demographic. So, between the three, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, it is paying off. And I took over the accounts about 18 months ago. We had about 200 followers. We're now on 2,200.
We get excellent, yeah,
100,000 views on a couple of the videos now.
Nice.
Some pretty big numbers. I'm trying to push that out So
That's fantastic. So, Tom, are we going to see drummers doing TikTok dances now and doing all this kind of stuff?
I think maybe after the March pass, when the beer tent comes into play, I think, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Sounds like a plan, yeah. But honestly, social media is a huge part of pipe banding now. And sometimes it does get taken for granted, but it really has helped the band this last while. And I'm really glad to hear that, especially for recruitment and encouraging youngsters through that door. So it's great to see that next generation coming through for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've lost the old network that used to be there of word of mouth. Or I work with a guy and I work with a guy, because we work very differently these days in the modern life, and we don't have the weekends like we used to have. It's a 7-day week now.
Oh, that's it.
I think that is largely the cause of it. So anything that reaches out to people in the way that it does at the minute, I think we have to use it. We've got to use it to its full potential.
Oh, big time, big time. So, folks, if you're listening right now, definitely go and check out their socials. Honestly, it's fantastic. You know, I'm a huge fan. We need to talk about then some memorable moments for the band in its history. Has there been any like huge trips, any big notable achievements, anything like that in the band's history?
There has been some stuff. There has been some stuff abroad in the past. I mean, I would say of the later ones, probably taking part in the Worlds last year was, for a lot of the band members, a huge moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the pipers in the band is the ex-pipe major, Eddie Campbell. I think he's 74, 75. Nice. It was always his ambition to play at the Worlds, and he finally got to do it for the first time last year.
That's fantastic. I love
so that was a huge thing.
Brilliant. There you go.
It was also my first
There you go. So even regardless of results and prizes and all that kind of stuff, even being there, you know what I mean? It is honestly a huge achievement for a lot of players. Yeah. So no, that's definitely a market moment for sure. Yeah. So,
in terms of
further back, what it's called, but the gentleman there was the president of RSPBA that passed away recently. His first event when he took over that role was at the indoor competition down in Luton. Right, and we got to speak to him, had a great crack with him. And we turned up at the Worlds and we went to the Needle. And he walked straight up to us because he recognised us, having a great crack with us. And he said something that day that sort of really hit home. He said, just the fact that you're here, you've already won.
Exactly. I couldn't put it better. Wow.
Yeah, it was such a moment. So sorry to have lost him, but what a gentleman.
Yeah.
That was a real moment for me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that. There you go. So can I ask then, obviously now things are going really well for the band at the moment, you know, recruitment, tuition, socials, all of that, and appearance at the Worlds. Has the band got any future plans then rolling into this season, next season, anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, we've got over a dozen public performances, parades, carnivals this year. Gordon talked more about the competitions, but I will mention our pipe sergeant, Adam. Him and his fiancée Becky are getting married at the end of the year. So we're going to be playing for them, and they met through the band, which is fantastic. And we've also got our 50th anniversary Kaylee in October, 18th of October. There's links in all the social media bios. If anyone wants to come along, that'd be amazing. If you're coming from far away, I'm sure we could find help you with accommodation or something. It'd be everyone's invited. It should be a really good night. I'll let Gordon talk about the competition side.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pipe sergeant obviously getting married this year. He was warned not to do it on a date of a competition.
Okay. Yes, that's important.
Or a regular engagement. He was told anytime after September will be okay. Yeah. Competitions wise, we're planning this year to hit Perth. Mm-hmm. And we're going to spend the full week in Glasgow after Perth. Obviously take the crit from Perth and really work on that over the full week in Glasgow, ready for the Worlds again. So last year I think we were our heat. We came 8th out of 16 bands. Top 6 went through.
Yeah.
So this year, we're hoping to qualify as the big one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Love to get placed. Who knows? You just don't know what's going to happen on the day. So yeah, that's the biggest aspiration right now. And really, I suppose for me, just to keep building on the on the momentum that we've got, keep new, fresher people coming in, and just keep sort of trying to push to get the band up to a higher standard.
Yeah.
We've got a really good core of drummers behind us. Obviously, spoke about before, they're a bit more remote. We do have drummers locally in the area. We have about 6 or 7 sides down here. None of them really want to compete.
Right.
So it's been a game of two halves as far as that's concerned. But we have both ends of the band covered, which is ideal. So
I do want to talk about the drumming a little bit. So, Tom, we were chatting just before we hit record here about the logistics of the drum corps, and you were mentioning there, Gordon. Tell us about the makeup of the drum corps and where you're all from.
So, again, I'm from Windsor, so maybe I think I might be the furthest one out from all the drummers. You've got Paul Sullivan, which is the lead drummer of the band. Has been now for I think 2 or 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Gordon might correct me on that.
2 seasons.
Yeah. And myself and Paul, we've played together in various bands before. But yeah, no. Paul lives in Penarth, and then you've got Lee and Des who live in Warminster, which is near Stonehenge. Again, we're not relatively close together, but we have made it work in the past, and it has proved in the past that it does work in various bands before. But like I say, the power of social media, the WhatsApp, we've got, like I say, we've got a great network. 3 of our tenor drummers live down in Plymouth. 2 of our tenor drummers live down in Plymouth. One of the tenor drummers recently joined. He's been with the band, I think about a couple of weeks, 2 months, about 2 months. And he's already had his first competition and done remarkably well. So,
great.
The 2 of them down there, they do their own thing. They're well trusted. We know they do their homework at home. And that's all we ask really is, everything on the social media is posted there for everyone to take away and do what they need to do at home. But yeah, it definitely works. It's been proven before. But yeah, no, definitely the world this year for the drum corps and the band at least is definitely for me one I'm looking forward to doing with the band, because obviously it's my first season with the band, and the last 3 comps we've done, it's just every competition has just got stronger and stronger in all areas of the band. The pipe corps, the drum corps, the midsection. It's just got stronger and stronger. And I just think that's because people are getting more confident with it and they're actually enjoying being at a competition. And every competition it's well structured. We have, we've all, get there, do your thing, get a cup of coffee, be back for this time, and then full 150% concentration in the game. And everyone's taken that on board, the process on board, and it is working. It's definitely, and it shows. The crit sheets are getting better every time, and obviously, yeah, we're taking everything that what the crit sheets have said, and it's just minor issues we have to work on, but you get them working, and you're diamond.
You go. So it's going the right direction. Yeah. So, and if anything, as I said, I've already admitted I'm a fan. I've been following your stuff on socials, been really enjoying it. And hey, folks, good luck this incoming season. I'm looking forward to seeing you now in person, now that the world's obviously. And of course, you are going to qualify. Let's say it now. We'll just put it out there. Yeah.
Positive thought. Positive thought.
100%. So, folks, thanks so much for joining us on the show this week. And again, if you do want to go and find out more details about the band, there's tons of links everywhere, all to do with their socials and stuff, and we would encourage you, go and check them out for sure. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on the show this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. A huge shout out to the lads there at the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. Now, not only did they qualify for the final, but they placed in the top 6. Yo! Hold on, give them a proper round of applause, Rab. Yeah. What a season. Yeah, picking up a prize at the Worlds in Grade 4B, City of Plymouth Pipe Band. Fantastic. Well done, guys. So, yeah, I do remember catching up with the guys on the grass that day, and whenever we both qualified for the final, we were both like, oh, congratulations. And they're like, oh, we were going to say congratulations to you too. So it was weird. We were both kind of congratulating each other, even though we realized hold on, we're going to be competing against each other. So a very strange moment, but equally very cool at the same time. I was so chuffed to hear that they'd made it through to the final, because that was their goal. And not only were they through to the final, but they lifted a prize. Top 6 in the world. Well done to the City of Plymouth. Now, as we mentioned, there is a wealth of social media content from the band, and even now, at this point, now the season's wrapped up and everything, there's still a ton of content from the band, and you can certainly go and check all of that out. Yeah, so a huge thank you to everyone there at the City of Plymouth Pipe Band for taking time, and yeah, it's great to meet the band. And as I've mentioned earlier, if you do have a story to tell about your own particular pipe band, or you believe that the piping world would like to hear more about your bands, then absolutely get in contact with us. bigrabshow@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll line up a conversation with all of you, and we'll find out the story behind the scenes of what makes your band tick. There you are. So that story ended on quite a high note there, with lifting the prize at the big one. Well done, City of Plymouth. There you go. Right, folks, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. We're going to wrap it up here at this point. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for downloading this week, and each and every week, I have to say. Yeah, and don't forget, send in your nominations for the Big Rab Show Awards, because, yeah, next week on the Big Rab Show podcast, we will be announcing our finalists for the Big Rab Show Awards. Oh, and the suspense is killing me. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Big Rab Show Awards. The finalists will be awarded or announced next week, and the voting will start. There you go. Exciting stuff. So get your nominations in. The call closes this weekend, the 11th of October at 5 p.m. UK time. Email them in. bigrabshow@gmail.com. Get your nominations in. And who knows? Your band, your product, your venue, your band gazebo could win a Big Rab Show award. There you go. All right, folks. That's it. I am out the door. I'll see you all again in the next one. Until then, all the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.